Alright. What costs $1,000 and will be obsolete in a year? That silly iPhone 10. We all use smartphones. I know a homeless guy who has a smartphone. But which smartphone do we buy? First off, if anyone enjoys Apple and thinks I'm just spewing hate, that's not my intention. I only wish to save you money. And secondly, if you buy an iPhone every iteration for reasons like style or fashion or status or some other silly, socially dictated construct, I feel my message will have no effect, and sadly you're already lost the cult of superficiality. Now that I totally alienated myself, I wish to convince all of you that buying the newest iPhone is a giant waste of money, and that you are better off with a cheap Android phone. The two main reasons for this are that Apple does not produce anything special, and a cheap phone will perform nearly as well as an expensive one. I recommend watching the reveal of the iPhone in 2007 done by Steve Jobs. I don't really like Steve Jobs, but his vision for Apple led them to where they are today. However, the Apple of today is more concerned with the bottom line than creating revolutionary products that change how people live. A couple examples of this are Bendgate, where iPhone 6s were bending in noticeable cases, and disastrous iOS updates that bricked or otherwise bogged down people's phones. Ultimately, I think Apple products are fine and dandy, but they are practically the same as competitor products. The iPhone 10 is a great example of an overpriced phone in terms of hardware and software capabilities, but will nevertheless sell because of Apple's image. Beyond the obviously poor design of the notch, as detailed by Joshua Topolsky in his post on the outline, the hardware of the iPhone 10 is the same as the iPhone 8 Plus with a $200 price difference. I wouldn't advocate buying a new Samsung Galaxy, but for purposes of comparison, the Galaxy S8 Plus has objectively better hardware than the iPhone 8 Plus and costs $100 less. iPhones are priced too damn high. I certainly don't blame Apple for the high cost, both because developing a new phone is an expensive process, and certainly people are willing to pay for it anyway. I know many people love Apple products. I don't think I'd be able to convince you that the products are bad, but rather that Apple is no different than Google or any other tech company. The fact is they charge more for their products compared to equivalent products from other companies. Consider a cheap Android like the one taking the video right now. It's an LG Aristo, and it cost me $120. I'm not going to tell you this is the best phone or even the best value phone in the world, but would it surprise you if I said that the hardware and the software is objectively better than the iPhone 4S? It's quite a bit better in terms of processing power, memory, camera quality, and battery. It's actually quite close to the iPhone 6 too. I think a major problem an iPhone user will have with switching to Android is the difficulty becoming accustomed to a different operating system. I feel the two operating systems are more similar than they are different, and the differences are easy to adjust to. In a CNET post, Rick Broida experiments using a cheaper Android phone in June of last year. He has used iPhones for years and currently has the iPhone 6 Plus. He considered going with a cheaper phone instead of upgrading to a new iPhone, but was hesitant to try an Android because, as he says, his brain just likes iOS better. He performed the test with a $180 Nokia 6. Step by step, he compares features with this phone and what he's used to, and surprisingly finds very little differences. In summary, he notes that a cheap phone can be a contender to an expensive one with very little trade-offs. And those trade-offs are mostly just processing power, how responsive it is, and the camera quality. He also says the extra money spent on these things is absolutely not worth it. Most everything you would do with your phone, both operating systems can do. If you think iPhone can do something that Android can't, let me know. No? Okay. Question yourself and think question yourself as to why you think Apple products are better, and really test for yourself whether your conclusions hold up. I recommend all of you iPhone users or users of expensive Android phones to ask a friend or a family member who uses a cheap phone to use, kind of test drive their phone, take pictures, web browse, and compare it with your phone to see if you notice a difference. I don't want you guys to feel bad about having purchased an expensive phone. There's nothing wrong with treating yourself, but as college students, our wallets are tight and there's no reason not to consider a move that might save us some money. I can't say for sure whether selling your current phone and buying a new cheaper one would make sense, My advice extends to the next time you're looking to buy a phone, or perhaps to convince you that you don't really need to buy a new phone yet at all. In summary, iPhones are overpriced, and choosing a cheap Android is a much better financial decision with very little compromise. I may not like Apple or their products very much. I don't think their products are bad, just overpriced. I'm not a fan of something being more expensive because of the name behind it, and this phenomenon extends to other things like clothing, jewelry, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, and pretty much all consumer products. Two products, different names, different prices, same substance. Be smart, buy the cheaper phone, don't be a sheep.